How many people that visited NHL.com last night around midnight were going there simply to see McDavid?
Yeah.
Like, who do you think would have got more clicks online last night, McDavid or Crosby?
McDavid.
Probably McDavid's goal was ridiculous.
That was an unbelievable goal. Someone compared it to that first goal Crosby scored. Remember when he returned against the Islanders?
Yeah, the backhand, yeah.
And he danced through the defense and he backhanded top shelf.
Roof, yep.
Worse similarities there, but I'm with you. I think it speaks to the star power of McDavid.
Yep.
It's something new that we're getting to see him play. And Crosby, you know, he's had 4-point nights in the past. He was great last night, but I think I agree with you guys. I would say a large majority of people were looking for McDavid last night, and it really says something about what he represents already.
Well, it was a big buzz. Like, I heard about it right away. Like, you know, I don't know if somebody said McDavid sounds like McDavid scored a ridiculous goal.
Oh, Twitter absolutely blew up.
And then, you know, you watch it. I mean, Columbus, great on McDavid, but you got three guys. Somebody knock him on his ass. And I know it's easier said than done.
Easier said than done.
I'll tell you what, he could have had easily 4 or 5 points last night.
But he also said, he actually said afterwards, I thought I watched that when he said, you know, there was one position where he curl and drag, where the one guy who fell down came through. I think it was Weinberg. He could have caught him, and he didn't. And that's the only scary thing is that, you know, he's moving so fast, and if a guy mistimes his hit, that's where a head shot or a blindside hit. I know they don't term blindside anymore. Could have caught him.
He's got a target on his back already, because every D-man in the league is like, I don't want to be on that highlight.
That's a highlight reel
17,000 times.
I said this morning, how long are we going to see that move? Like that, I know it's Sports Center and all that right now, but I'm saying, like, that's one of those moves where that's a 3-year, like, that's a years of
That's a career top 10 goal.
Exactly.
If he can score 10 more goals better than that, I would be shocked.
Right.
And I would love to see it, because that means this guy can do things that we haven't seen. And I think that speaks to what he represents right now. He is playing a game and playing a style that is different than I think we've ever seen before.
That goal is going to be like the Mario goal against the Minnesota North Stars, the Mario goal against Ray Bourque and the Boston Bruins.
Outside, inside,
you're going to see that one all the time.
That's a highlight reel goal.
There's guys flopping all over the place. It's ridiculous.
Well, that's what I mean. It's a 1-on-3. And as you know, I'm doing a little post-to-post on it. If you're the goalie, you're like, yeah, I don't think he's going to make it through. Maybe I'm ready for a shot because he may snap it and shoot off the rush and change. But all of a sudden, here we go.
But that's another thing. No one's even giving respect to the move he pulled on the goalie.
Oh,
because no one even cares about that.
Believe me, I'm giving respect to it.
I hear you, man, but that stop and start for him to change directions like that, that is what makes him such a unique player, and why he is so great, and why he will be the best player in the world. And I don't even think it's close to being disputable, because he plays at a pace that I'm not sure we've ever seen before. Like a pace with control and with the ability to stop and start like that. There have been fast players before. Right. There have been players with great hands before. There have been guys who can change directions before. But I don't know if we've seen it in terms of the full package like that, where he can put up numbers in so many different ways. The way he set up Eberle on that last goal may have been almost even more impressive. Like the grind that he had there, he was out of the play. He gets up, he jabs at it,
jabbing at it, and then he just gets up, open net goal.
Like, that's the kind of stuff where you're like, uh-oh, how do you stop that?
You know who skates like that?
How do you stop that?
Eric Carlson skates like that and moves laterally like that.
He's not that fast.
He's fast.
He's fast. He's not as fast as McDavid.
Well, he's damn close. I would say that. I watch this guy night in and night out, and Carlson has that lateral movement like that. That's what I'm talking. Comparison. Lateral movement, stop on a dime.
Yeah, I think they're two different animals. I know what you're saying. He's an unbelievable skater.
He's so dynamic, but you're right. McDavid, skating with the puck is so dynamic to stop and change and move around. That's a unique thing from a skill set of the players. And so when we're talking, I mean, it's amazing. I'm comparing him to a guy who's won a couple Norrises before he got to 25 years old. That's the comparisons right now.
Hey, listen.
They're comparing him, you know, Crosby's point total after 14, Gretzky, Lemieux. That's what we're dealing with here, a special, ridiculous special player. It's in a Canadian market, and we're going to watch him grow up right in front of our eyes.
He's going to be here. He'll probably be in Edmonton for the next 20 years.
And I don't, like, you can't jump to conclusions after one game, but if you looked at the dynamic of the team last night, the Edmonton Oilers, you didn't even really... I don't even think anybody mentioned the name Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. It was like, wow, look at the chemistry right now. McDavid's line's flying.
Yeah.
Taylor Hall and Draisaitl, 1-2 punch. You just wonder. I mean, can they move the guy?
Oh, they could move him in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. But I don't think they have to be in a position to do anything right now. I mean, there absolutely should be no timeline. I think you wait to see what other people are willing to come at you with. If I'm the Oilers, I'm not thinking I've got to unload Nugent-Hopkins. I'm thinking I'll open my phones, and if you want to call me with an offer,
exactly. You're not going to do something stupid.
Why would you?
You don't need to rush to do anything there. What they need to do is continue to upgrade their team, and you add McDavid in. You've got injuries in Nugent Hopkins. You've got guys that like Peter Chiarelli said on our show. It'd be nice to have a healthy team so you can assess where everyone's at, and they know where the weak points are. Would they like to add a top 4 defenseman? Yeah, get in line with the rest of the teams in the league. Ask the Ottawa Senators if they'd like to add a top 4 defenseman. The Pittsburgh Penguins. I saw both of those teams last night. Some pretty good players out there, but there's some holes in a lot of rosters where they need to fill if they're going to get to that next level.
I should have put it in Jerry's, but I would not be shocked if Connor McDavid was in the conversation for the Hart Trophy next year.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't either.
Because it sets up perfectly.
Wouldn't shock me if he won it.
No, it would.
Well, it sets up perfectly for them because if they make the playoffs for the first time ever, people are going to say, who got them there? Right? It's like the new coach that gets their team over the top.
Yep.
When Waugh won it, Hartley won it last year.
Yep.
There's a lot of similarities there with the Hart. And if Edmonton puts the right pieces together, and let's say he's top 2 or 3 in points, and would anyone be surprised by that?
No.
And they get in, I think at the very least a nomination. I'd put at least 50% on that.
Well, there's a lot of what ifs, but you're right.
He's just that good.
In a perfect world, you're right. There's no reason to believe that if he continues to progress, let's not forget, he's 14 games into his career. He's still kind of realizing, hey, there is a little extra space here. Maybe I don't want to go there. He's still learning. I don't know if it's called the pace or kind of the cadence of what goes on out there. He's going to know, hey, I can turn it on here. I can slow up here. I can make a play. And teams are going to be trying to deal with him.
And he's going to get the best of the best as far as defense pairings.
Yeah.
Top checking centerman, the Kopitars.
Yeah.
The Jonathan Tays. He's going to get that every night, and that's when you're really going to see what the kid's all about. Because the best of the best, they've always found a way to get it done. Patrick Kane, he plays against those guys every night. He gets it done.
Do you have any doubt that he'll get it done?
No.
Me neither.
Neither do I.
Nobody does.
I don't think anybody is doubting his talent. I want to just see what the ceiling is because it's exciting. It's exciting to see young players like that, and that's why it was a big blow, not only just for the Oilers. It was a big blow for the league. Look at the buzz that's going on about this kid last night.
Every time he scores a goal?
It's going to be.
Every time he scores a goal?
What?
A little bit of me says we could have had him. We were close.
Oh, here we go.
40. We had the best odds.
You know how many people are pointing that out on Twitter? That the logo comes out, then right after that the McDavid highlights start up, and imagine him in that 100th anniversary new logo.
Do you know how many people pointed
that would have set a record for jersey sales?
Oh, ever. Dude, it would have been crazy. Let's bring in Ray Ferraro, our TSN hockey analyst. Ray on Leafs Lunch is a presentation of Sierra So Joint Formula 14. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. I'm kind of hanging around Boston to flight canceled this morning, so fly to Ottawa tonight for Connor McDavid and whatever team he plays for, and Senators tomorrow night.
Nice. Yeah, no one even cares about the Oilers anymore, right?
No, they're like, hey, Connor McDavid's playing today. Well, there are 19 other guys in the uniform. Yeah, but it's Connor McDavid.
No, you're right. Like, if I had tickets to that game, I would not say I'm going to see the Oilers play. I wouldn't.
See.
I'm going to see number 97, and that's it.
Gee, he looked rusty.
Yeah.
What a player, huh?
Couldn't skate. Struggled.
When I saw him at the junior tournament last year, it's like when he went through the neutral zone, it was like everybody else was in quicksand behind him. It was like he just, even when he had the puck, he was like he was pulling away from people. And so I thought, well, I wonder how that'll look. Like, he's a fabulous skater. I wonder how that'll look, at the NHL level. And it looks the same. Like, when he has the puck, he somehow looks a little bit faster, which I don't even really know how is possible. Like, it's astounding what's possible for him.
Imagine him in 2 years when he kind of puts some muscle on and he's kind of filling out like it'll be a machine. It already is a machine.
Like, what impressed me about the goal last night? So, like, if you add 10 or 15 pounds, whatever he's going to put on, like, so he goes through the defense and he looks like he's going to kind of get up on two wheels there as he goes through a little bit, and then he just rights himself, like his balance, and and then he's upright again, and he scored that same goal against Detroit, same move where he comes in and he makes it look like he's going to his backhand, and he kind of stops up and just slides it around the blocker side. But just think when he's 15 pounds heavier and someone goes to shove him off balance and he doesn't even budge. And then he continues on with all the skill and stuff that he's got.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about before, Ray, is, this guy's only 14 games into settling into the league. I mean, wait until he actually knows, like, his limitations and goes, yeah, I'm going to bully my way right through here, or I'm going to stop up and make a play here. Like, he's just getting his feet wet. Like, there's a real high ceiling for this player. And, Hayes and I and O-Dog, we were talking about it before as, this is somebody that, you pay to watch, but would you, next year, would you be shocked if he had a great season for the Edmonton Oilers and helped them either get into a playoff spot? He could be in that Hart conversation if he's at the top of the standings or close to it in points.
If he's in the top 10 in scoring, which is almost, I can't even get my head around saying that, oh yeah, this 19-year-old could be in the top 10, but why couldn't he be?
Right.
I mean, he might be.
He will be.
Right. Like, why? He's just different. He's special. He's, it's just different. The one thing I will say is, I'm sure the people in Edmonton were going wild yesterday, as they should have been. And as fabulous as he is, until they get that blue line figured out, they're not going to be a playoff team. And
right.
that's going to take some time. It's going to take some time. That they're not good enough on the blue line. Like, let's remember last night, I saw Todd McClellan's comments about, how they took control of the game and shut down. It was Columbus.
Yeah.
It's, arguably the worst team in the league right, at this point. And so, it's a little different as the season goes on, and, they're trying to make a climb against these other teams. The best part of their defense is is a year or 2 or 3 away when these young guys start to grow a little bit. They don't have Clefbaum in the lineup. He's going to come back relatively soon. Reinhart should grow into be an effective, maybe 4, but a 4, 5, 6 defenseman. I don't think he's a top pair guy. I don't think he'll be quick enough. Brandon Davidson's been a really good story for them, but it's just not enough.
Yeah.
And to make a playoff spot, and they know that but it's a pretty good piece to fill around if 97's zipping around.
Well, it's a lot like 87 in Pittsburgh 10 years before, right? Or when he showed up, even though Mario was still there, we knew that Pittsburgh was going through transition and it was going to be a new era.
Yeah.
And I'm sure if we went back and looked at that roster in 06, they didn't make the playoffs, and I'm sure a lot of the same conversations were being had. What will the defense corps look like? What will the rest of the lineup look like? Now, they also had Malkin at that point. They had Marc-Andre Fleury at that point.
Yeah.
So they had a couple of different pieces. But Edmonton's got Draisaitl. They've got Hall. They've got a couple of other guys that clearly they like. But if you find that piece, I mean...
Well, clearly, does it not just seem as obvious that eventually they're going to have to trade one of those forwards for a defenseman?
Yes. Absolutely.
And they keep denying, oh, no, we don't know that we have to do that, and, oh, we're building this. That's great in theory, and you never tell the whole world your plans. But if us dummies can see it so clearly, obviously they can too. They have a trade chip in one of those forwards because they've got a bunch that other teams would probably desire. And it's not, it's not Yakupov like it always happens when the trade deadline. Maybe they could move Yakupov for, some guy star.
I honestly did not even notice him last night. I know a lot of the focus was on McDavid, but I did not notice. I only watched the second and third, but I didn't, not even close.
Well, it's going to be, if they want to make an impact, it's got to be one of the, it's got to be Hall, Eberle, or Nugent Hopkins.
Yeah, I mean,
those are one of the guys. You're going to have to do it, whether they want to or not.
Yeah.
It makes no. Put it this way, to me, it makes no sense not to do it, because you've got some pretty special pieces that are sitting there.
Well, not to mention the money in the end. Like, if McDavid keeps rolling like this, in 3 or 4 years, he'll be the highest paid player in the league. And if Draisaitl keeps rolling like this, he may not be that far behind him. So, can't have 75% of your cap up front. You got to spread the wealth.
You do have to find a way.
And that also comes into play. And Nugent Hopkins is locked up. Hall is locked up. And at this point, Taylor Hall at $6 million, that's a pretty good cap hit. It's a very good cap hit.
But he's one of the. I mean, Ray, where would you place Taylor Hall as far as left wingers in the National Hockey League?
Oh boy,
is he top 5?
Yes,
I think he is.
Well, I'm just trying to. Now I'm trying to run through the teams.
Jamie Benn.
Yeah, Ovechkin's pretty good.
Ovechkin will be all right.
Put it this way, rather than rack my brain through this, Patrick Kane's pretty good.
Yeah.
I would say, whether you count Kane as a left winger or a right wing, there's where you get into the argument. He would be in the top 10 for sure.
Yeah.
Which people can say, oh, that's 120 left wingers in the league.
Right.
He's in the top 10. I mean, he's a difference maker to that team,
without a doubt. That's the interesting part for me. So you've got that piece. Now you to me, it's the other one of the other two, whether it's Eberle or RNH.
It's just a matter of when it's going to happen, because we've been having this conversation for what feels like an eternity. When is something going to happen? When are they going to? And let's also take into account the top 5 pick they could get this year.
Right.
Like, let's say they take Puljujärvi out of Finland. Okay, what happens with him? Do you just does he play, or do you trade him, or do you trade the pick? I don't know.
No, you don't.
No?
Not him. No, not him. You look around for 6'5" wingers that can skate and can be a difference maker offensively, like that kid. No, he goes right next to 97 in the group of guys you're not moving. If the Oilers were lucky enough to get him, like that pick, you don't move. But you don't move one of those forwards for a draft, like for somebody else's first rounder either. Eventually you've got to be able to trade that player for somebody in the same age group at a different position, right? You're looking for a 24-year-old that's already got his feet in the league and, is through some of the bumps and the ups and downs, somebody that can help stabilize, somebody that can be, a number 2 defenseman, because that's what you're probably trading in Eberle or Nugent Hopkins. You're trading someone in the number 2-3 defense spot.
With Ray Ferraro, our TSN hockey analyst.